A whole bunch of you asked what my thoughts were on ESPN acquiring or extending their acquiring of the exclusive rights to the college football playoff contract through, I think it's like 2031. And there's this kind of boogeyman syndrome in the room where everyone wants to hate on and bash everything that is establishment college football, whether it's the NCAA or whether it's ESPN because they've said something once upon a time you don't like, or there's an on-air talent there that you think is biased against your program, or you just think holistically maybe they're participating in practices behind the scenes that are detrimental to the sport. And look, I'm not saying there's not validity to some of that, but I don't think that we have angels running any kind of angelic media company out there. So at some point you have to bite your own personal bullet for, the greater good. Okay, so that sounds like a bunch of boilerplate stuff. I know. So what I think about it is, I wish personally that we had a college football playoff contract that, number one, didn't include 12 teams, but beside the point at this point. So I wish we had a world with the existing and future college football playoff structure where every network had a piece of it. Now, this is my perfect world. I'm going to get to why that wasn't possible in a second, but I would love for it to kind of mirror what the NFL does. And I'm, as usual, I'm not a big proponent of our sport adopting a lot of what the NFL does. But listen, when it comes to presentation and distribution, there's a lot the NFL gets right. Okay, so I think a lot of you agree with that. Judging by my inbox, a lot of you agree with that. So, okay, well, Josh, why can't we have that? Well, don't ask ESPN. Like, here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to look at the one media company that was willing to bid big money on the future of college football and its playoff contract and hate on them when you get behind the scenes and you realize how really uncompetitive that bidding process was. You notice two words you never heard in this whole back and forth and this whole drawn out drama about the college football playoff contract. You never heard the words bidding war. It's like an NFL free agent. Sometimes you hear those words. In recruiting, sometimes we hear those words. We did not hear those words when it came to the college football playoff contract. It's because other networks didn't step up to the plate like ESPN did. Now, it's their money. It's not my money, so I'm not going to sit here and shout from my front porch how you should spend yours or you should spend yours. But look, if it were a competitive marketplace and ESPN had gobbled this thing up, that'd be one thing. Because at that point, I'd look at college football and say, well, what are you guys doing? But when you got ESPN offering, $1.3 billion, I think, a year, and reportedly no one else coming close to that, how am I going to get mad at that? And that's one compartment. The other compartment is, okay, is ESPN contributing behind the scenes to taking away parts of the game you like? Are they contributing to conference realignment and this and that? And I can't say no. I don't think that many people can definitively say that either way. I hear things. I probably hear more things than you guys. You guys are working your jobs every day. You don't have time to be in those weeds. I kind of am. But even then, I'm not in the room. So, I got my feelings on it. You got your beliefs and feelings on it. We all hear hoofbeats off in the distance, but you never really know. And also, if that is happening, there could be things beneath the surface that if you and I knew would make a whole lot more sense as to the way things play out. So bottom line, we've got an expanded playoff coming. One network owns those rights. It is important to understand there is a sub-licensing clause in there, which just means if I run CBS and I want to buy a first-round game where Pitt is coming to play Iowa State in 2027, I can buy that from ESPN. So it probably will look like that. It probably won't be every game exclusive on ESPN, but they will own all the rights to those games.